for some help. All I need, all I need, just be with your precious love, Jesus. I need you to hold my hand, all I need is just from you. All I need. I need your touch, Lord. I'm going through the pain in my life.
All right. Welcome to another episode of our Testimony Tuesdays. We'd like to welcome you to the Bible Life Ministry Testimony Tuesday, shall I say. And this is another episode of our Testimony Tuesdays. And we are joined here with Miss Regina Kelley. And Miss Regina, we thank you for joining us on today. Tell people hi.
How y'all doing today?
Okay. Miss Regina is one of our co-workers that we currently work with at RISD. And she just wanted to come on and share her testimony with you guys. So I'm going to give you the floor, Miss Regina, so you can go ahead and start your testimony. Or do you want me to ask you a question?
Yes, please ask me some questions.
That's how I had to do my mom on her testimonies because she getting there. So, all right, Miss Regina, we're going to, let's start with your childhood, Miss Regina. Give us a little insight about how you grew up. We can start there.
Okay. My background was Pentecost. I grew up going to church 7 days a week. My mom and my dad, just going to church. I guess just going because your parents, you had to go back then. Didn't have a relationship with God back then. But in the childhood of living with both parents, I seen my mama pray. I seen my mama cry out to God, do different things. My daddy was just a goer. He just went because I think my mama went. And it's me and I have a brother. His name is Nicholas Ivory. And it's just two of us. And just all I know is church. I wasn't raised if you want to say in the world, a lot of things throughout life, growing up as an adult, I had to learn the culture of the world through relationships and things like that. But I guess through my mama prayers, God shielded me from a lot of things. I still don't know a lot of things. Prime example, I don't know how to play bingo.
I'm using this to get a good job.
Okay. I don't know how to play bingo, different things like that, but I do know how to pray.
And that's the most important thing. That's most important.
All I know is church. That's what I was raised, my background. Yes, I was in the world for a while, but prayer, the Bible said when you train a child, pretty much he know how to bring you back to him. But other than that, just growing up, I had my first baby at 16. I have 5 children. My first baby at 16, that was, I guess, 16. Now that was the way of me moving out my parents' house, have a little freedom, being out there in the world. I learned a little bit about the worldly things. But I still believe the prayers of the righteousness shall prevail. My mom still covered me because still a lot of things didn't come by me, even though I was out there in the world. I was still covered. I had my first baby at 16. Then I had I can't think of the age. I was in my 20s when I had my son, and got married. Had 3 kids by my this be my second husband. Second husband. I had 3 children by him. He got incarcerated with my last daughter that's in college right now. But he's out. And just speed up to now. Just I still was in the world, still trying to do my thing. And I just say in 2017, God, I went through a tragedy that woke me up and realized I'm going to serve God. And that God, I believe this. The enemy knows. I tell people today, whatever you love the most, that's what he attacked. My family was everything to me. And so when I went through a trying time with my oldest daughter, she's 29, and I pretty much went to jail. What happened was we got into it, and and um and so at that time I was a single mom with 5 kids in the same house. And we got into it, and I guess in my mindset, when we got into it, I went to this is what I learned about living in apartments. When you're living in an apartment, you have a child at 18, you just can't put them out. You got to go through legal stuff to put them out. So that particular night, I want her gone today. So I had to go to Mesquite and fill out an affidavit, wait on the court. That was taking too long. So after I did that evening, and I went and I came home, and the devil it was so busy. He's so busy. And so when I came home, and we had a dispute, and I left. I don't know, that particular night I went and I wanted to learn defense classes, and I went up here to Mesquite at the Recreation Center, and then I went there and learned a little defense class or whatever. Then when I got back home, I think that's when the devil was all up in my house. And so at this particular time, I I asked her to leave because when I went to Mesquite, they told me to write out an eviction letter and put it on her door. And so I did. So she came around the corner. She said, "What this mean? What this mean? What you trying to do?" And whoever she was on her phone was trying to boost her up or whatever. So I said, "You gotta go." And so about this time, she talking loud. About this time, it's like it came over on me. So but this time I went in the room, I got her backpack and I opened the door and I threw it out the door. And so by the time I went in my room, came back around, I seen her go out the door, and and I was trying to push her out the door, but she was fighting her way back in. So she got back in the door. So next thing I know, the police coming knocking at my door. And so at this time, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking black brother got my back, police officer. Mm. So he called back up or whatever, and uh another minority came in, talked to my daughter, whatever, and I'm thinking in my mind, okay, this is my house, and you hear people say, you know, I guess throughout life I hear people say, what's the word I'm looking for? You will go to jail by hitting these kids. I even say, well, hey, I ain't gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, but you will go to jail by hitting these children. And so I hear people say, whoop a child, and you supposed to, that's in the Bible. But in the man world, you will go to jail. So but this particular time, the police is in the house, and they asked her question. I guess she don't told them, but I pushed her. I did something. I don't know, because I was in one room, she was in another. So I'm speculating right now. And so about this time, Man come around the corner. He said, "Ma'am, can you stand up, put your hands behind your back?" I said, "What? This my ass. What do you mean put my hands behind my back?" That part. And so I was like, "Oh, okay." And so at this time, I still got four kids in my house, so they seeing all this. So about this time, this Mesquite, I go to jail. Nope, I'm like, oh my God, I just can't believe that I'm going through this process. So I get downtown to Mesquite, and I'm locked up. I'm like, about this time, but I'm gonna tell you about my mama. My mama didn't stay here. She stayed in Fairfield, Texas. She said the Holy Spirit quickened her because she was calling, and I want to answer my phone. Holy Spirit told her come to Dallas. About this time, I'm going through the process of Mesquite getting locked up, book or whatever. And I'm gonna tell you, it's another lady that police officer. She knew me because we went to church together. And this is my first offense. I'm like, what is this? What? Why? What is that? What? I mean, so the charge was um, what is it? Assault to a family member. And
Mm-hmm.
I was asking her. I said, so you get time for this? She said, yeah, you get up to a year. And I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is my house. And if I ask you to leave, I need you to go. So
Right.
I'm trying to process.
Right.
I'm trying to process all this information because I'm like, how can they say somebody in jail? Because
Mm-hmm. They
and
will do it.
if I if I ask you to go, I need you to go.
That's right. That's right.
But
That's
it
what
don't.
you would think. That's what you would think.
Yeah.
But
So
like you said, in the man world, they don't think like God thinks. They
no.
do it for themselves.
Yeah. So you still got to go through the legal steps, and so by
Right.
the time I've been processed. I'm in jail. My mama done made it Dallas, whatever. And then she gets in my house. She said, "Let me tell you what was the plan." So my daughter was talking to an older guy. My daughter wasn't that smart, and the guy was pretty much teaching, and that's what young girls today. That's what my ministry is in because I was 16, I had a baby, and
Mm-hmm.
just gearing towards young girls, um, that's dealing with pretty much self-esteem, self-worth, really don't know where the enemy comes in and he'll use anything
Mm.
um to lower your standards. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was pretty much coaching my daughter at that time. And because he was telling her she cannot put you out. Because usually when me
Mm.
and my get into it, she'll
You
leave.
just leave.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so at that time, so she didn't leave. So at this time, and I've been booked, processed. My mom, I'm calling, collect. My mama come Mesquite, and baby daddy at that time came, and so I they get me out of jail, whatever. And so, but my mom was telling me on the ride home, the process was they were going to put you and her and her man was gonna put me out, and they were gonna take over my house. I said,
Uh,
oh. I said, Mom, no. She said that was the game, that was the plan. But when my mom said when she walked through the door, 'cause my mama always carry a pistol.
oh.
He said, whatever y'all got going on, Quisha, that was my daughter's name, y'all got to go. I'm telling you that now. You got to go. And so that particular night, I just I was still at odd because I'm like, when you raise 5 kids by yourself,
Huh.
I feel like I'm all that you know, and I'm still going through the process because now I got a case, and it's a
Uh,
pen, and I'm trying to understand my children because I would do anything for my kids. I ride and die for my kids. Like
mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to process as well as go through the legal stuff. Had to get me a lawyer. It was just a lot that I had to process. And so it's a long story. I won't keep going. I'm going straight to the point. But
No, you good. This is your testimony. You got to tell your story the way that you got. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who is going to reach? Somebody else has been through
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm saying? I went through the same thing with my 17-year-old son. Do you understand? I sent him through a window. So I understand, but
Okay.
I didn't go to jail. The police
Okay.
came and they took him. But
Okay.
I keep telling your story, sister,
Okay.
because somebody needs to hear this. Because
Okay.
ride or dying for your kids is the reason why we end up in some situations that we end up in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So tell the story, sister, just like it happened. So
Yeah.
another mother can
Yeah.
understand and see and hear this. I'm
And
telling
so, and so,
you.
um, just going through the process. Um, so I had to get a lawyer. Mind you, on Section A.
Uh-huh.
Um, lost my Section A.
Mm.
Um, talked to the landlord in apartments, and they give you one any type of act in apartments. They give you 60 days to get
Mm-hmm.
out of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this
They
time,
gave you 60 days, girl. It's normally 3. You got to go in 3.
oh well, she gave me 60 days, and I'm still trying to process this whole situation because I got to find a place in 60 days. Um, and so, but I'm gonna tell you, but God. So I had a
Mm.
cousin. She worked for these apartments that I'm in today.
Mm.
And, she was in management. Now you know with a assault to a family member, you know you can't move into apartments, right?
Right.
But God, but God, but God. I gotta give him glory. But God.
You got to get it to them.
And I don't know if it wasn't on there or my cousin by passing, but I just say, but God, I give him the glory. And so I lost the Section A. My cousin told me about these apartments that was brand new. Moved over here, been over here since the last 4 years. Um, got over here. You think that was it? Baby gets over here.
Mm.
Um, I get served with some consular papers.
Mm.
My ex-husband, um, pretty much wanted to take history kids. So I'm over here. I'm gonna say maybe I was in here a good 6 months. Now, mind you, I got a criminal case. Now I got a custody case. So I gotta come out more money for the lawyer.
Wow.
So I get over here. I get served with consular papers. I said, okay, all right. Not knowing what I'm reading, what I'm doing. And so I had to ask the lawyer what it was. Did not know. Um, After the lawyer broke it down to me, he was trying to take his 3 kids. So in the meanwhile, I'm showing up to court for criminal case at Luke's Dairy. Every time you go down there, either they reschedule for whatever, showing up.
More money.
Yeah. And then I got show up to this child support court, which is the white building. Uh I can't think of the name of the building, but down there in Dallas.
It's the Allen building down there
Yeah,
somewhere.
Allen building.
Mm-hmm.
The Allen building. So showing up, I guess I'm more concerned about this because these are my kids right now. We're talking.
Right. Right.
So when I'm showing up and with my lawyer, the DA, and the people want to talk to my kids by themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
Duncan's daughter, was Kayla, um, they talked to Kayla and they talked to Cameron, and I believe they talked to my Michael at that time.
Kayla's the one that worked with us.
Yes, she just went
Okay.
out for college.
Okay.
And so, but did not know in my own house because now I had a 3-bedroom when I stayed in Mesquite. I had to downsize to a 2-bedroom over here because I had lost
Got it.
my hey. So
Okay.
I was basing it off my income, what I had at
I
the
got it.
present time. And so I did not know that Kayla and her older sister was talking to her father concerning what was going on in my house. Didn't know this. And so I never forget. I went in Kayla's room and I asked her. I said, "Your daddy's trying to take you away from me," but she didn't say nothing. She didn't respond, not knowing that he was going up there to the school, talking to her, just getting all type of information what was going on in my house. He had talked to all the kids, just trying to build a case because I had to go to
Uh-huh.
court.
Uh-huh.
So, uh, when I tell you I was blindsided when I went to show up court, I was blindsided. And so, get in front of this judge, and she's telling me at this time, oh, I had to, since I downsized to a 2-bedroom, my son Michael, I sent him to stay with my mom, which was in Fairfield, Texas. So, because there was too many kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. And
Right.
so, that's why I tell every woman read his knowledge. But I did not know in my divorce, you cannot allow any of your child to be outside jurisdiction of Dallas County. Didn't know that. But
The
I didn't read
decrees in there. Yeah, you didn't read it. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
I
so
get it.
so the judge gave me ultimatum. I need to go get my son, bring him back here to Dallas. And I'm like, okay. Now mind you, I got all 5 kids in a 2-bedroom. And so I had to go get them. Going through the process. Still got this legal case going. But then I realized, even through and I always told myself, never put your situation in someone else's hand. When I say that is just going through the criminal stuff, looking at the deed. They consider me a criminal, but they don't know my background. They just
Right.
off what other people are telling them. But if you knew who,
Yeah.
and so, in other words, I allow my anger to get me to that point.
Yeah.
Instead of, I guess, instead of handling the situation differently that night when the officer came, but in my mind, I feel like I didn't put my hands on her, but you're not gonna disrespect me in my house at the end of the day.
Right.
So I need you to go, and if I ask you to go or leave, that's what I meant.
Right.
And so even in that process of the criminal case, I'm still dealing with the criminal case. They went ahead and put me on. I had to complete community service, and I had to complete community service. What else I had to do? I guess pay the court fees or whatever. As long as I could complete a community service, that was good. So I had to reach out, got to know some people at another church, reach out to community service. They had me go through this anger management classes, and but even through that process, it it was all God say. I'm gonna go back. Let me go back before I say that. I just had to learn how to handle situation differently. When I allow my anger to get the best of me, I'm just learning. I'm still learning that. Just to pretty much walk away as I read God's word, walk away from different things, and allow God to fight my battle at the end of the day.
Yes, Lord. He said, "Vengeance is mine."
Yes, said the Lord. That's why I stay to myself, because I know me.
You hear me? But when you know yourself, you know not to put yourself in situations that's gonna make you come out of character.
Yes,
I just said that in the Bible study today.
yes.
Keep your mouth closed, because God tells sister, daughter of mine, just be quiet.
Yeah.
I be want to put people in their place, but that's not my place to do that.
Yes.
So we have to learn to be quiet. You right.
Yes. So, and just did not fast forward, but going back to because I'm doing 2 cases at once. I got the child case and that case. So, going to the child support case. So I show up, got a court date, show up. His particular lawyer is questioning me about my household. When I tell you they knew information, and I'm sitting
Mm.
up and like, I don't even talk to this man like this. So how you know my information? What goes on in my house? And they, again, that particular lawyer was making, they used that previous case with my daughter and made it seem like I was a bad person.
Yeah.
That's how much information that they had. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you're questioning me. I feel like about something that in my mind, I have the right. I have the right. But they was trying to make it seem like that my anger is I'm capable of keeping my other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'm gonna let my anger get the best of me.
Yeah.
And so um at that time, um after I did that hearing and we showed back up in court for the child support, um the lady judge granted my ex-husband my 3 kids. So she gave
Mm.
me 6 o'clock that evening to have my kids to his location.
Mm.
When I walked up out that courtroom, it's like my heart. I didn't think a judge. Now I'm not a mother that club. I don't kick it like that, but I make sacrifice for my children. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand how. I didn't even think it was possible.
I get it.
Judge can take you away.
How another woman can do another woman like that. That's
That
what you
part,
think.
yes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when I walked up out the courtroom, my mom was there. And when I tell you, just like I was at odds. But I'm gonna tell you what God told me when I walked out the courtroom. He was like, just like they crucified me on the cross,
You
they gonna
understand?
crucify you here on this earth. But I was like,
Mm.
Lord, now man, that's a different story. But my kids,
Yeah.
that's the heart. I
Yeah.
just, and so when I got in the car, I must have cried like a baby, and I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that I went through this, and so um my kids were dropped off. But when I tell you I dropped the kids off before 6, because when I was in the courtroom, stuff started coming out that I didn't know. I did not know my youngest daughter was talking to her father. So right now I got despite. I don't trust nobody because I'm trying to figure out how you know my information.
Yeah.
What
Right.
goes out. So you, and if it's for some reason, Taylor had an issue with her youngest brother. I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't know. It was like a despite. So she didn't want to share a 2 bedroom with her youngest brother. She wanted her 3 bedroom,
Yeah.
and not understanding that I was going through something and
Right.
break it down to a good enough. But right now, I'm trying to put me together because
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 cases pending, and I know if you going to jail, I don't know how the criminal situation works out or none of that. And so
Right.
by the time um I take them to their destination to their father, and as many nights I cried in the tub. I cried because
I
I
know you do.
that was possible. I just
Mm-hmm.
something that you birthed that you
Yeah.
again. I'm not that mother that's out there in the streets. Like, okay, I understand I was out there partying, you know, leaving my kids on people, but I never
Yeah.
been. And
Mm-hmm.
um, now after the kids is over there, I still have this criminal case. I show up for the criminal case. Um, didn't really pretty much did not judge. My lawyer was talking to the DA pretty much again. I had to again complete community service and and um and that's community service. And like I said again, I went through the situation where I had to go to the church and do what they asked and different things like that. And once I completed that, that pretty much case was closed because it wasn't dropped. It was just closed. Okay. So now going through the process of my kids are leaving me and they stand in a new residence. Now I'm working at Richardson. Now I'm on child support, paying child support myself. Kids over there. It's like everything switch. Um, I get them 2 days out of the week, and it's like I'm still in the whole process. Within this whole year, I'm processing this whole information because I'm just not believing it. Like, is this possible? You know, because my kids are my heart. You know, and so yeah, so in that process, when they say time be your best friend, my mom always tell me time you will get you won't you'll move on, but as time go on, your heart will heal. So
Mm-hmm.
the year goes by. I'm at work. I get a call from my daughter. She's telling me she done ran away from home. She's 16 now. She's staying with her father. She done ran away from home. I'm like, Kayla, what you running away from home for? So she done ran away from home. She's in somebody else's backyard. So I called her father and I asked him, what's going on over there? Now I'm at the point I don't got used to being by myself. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I don't got no kids, so it's a different type of tone now, okay?
Right. Ain't nobody coming back home. Stay on over there.
I figured out what's going on. That's where y'all want to be. Okay,
Stay
you
on
over
over
there.
there.
Okay. And so he's talking about, well, she got upset. She wanted to go to Mesquite, and I told her no, and some other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I called Kayla back on the phone at work, and well, Mom, can you just come get me? Come get me. I'm like, for what? What you want me to come get you for? So she was telling me, Mom, I need to tell you something. So I called my boss. I get off work. I go to Raleigh, go pick up. I get in the car. Because at this time, I'm following the court procedure. This ain't my weekend. So I ain't supposed to have you. And so she said, well, Mom, get out.
I already know the entire thing.
Bye. Get out.
Fine.
Shut the door.
You go to your window way. Mom, my AirPods fall in the water, so can I right?
So at this present time, she cause he all in my mouth. She said, my dad asked me to plead before or 6 on me. And I said, what you talking about? Kayla, what you talking about? She said, I said, so this is the second time, and she didn't tell me the first time. I said, what happened when it happened the first time? She said, well, by Valentine, he asked to pay for it first time.
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, so your ex-husband is her dad, right?
Yes, that's her.
Kayla is the baby girl.
Yes.
She's the youngest one of the 3 kids. And her dad asked her to perform oral sex on her.
Yes. I'm not on him.
On him.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven Father.
Yeah. And so at this present time, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how to process this information. So I don't think I know called CPS. So I'm sitting I'm over there in Raleigh where he stayed, but I'm on this next street. I'm not on his street. And she's in my car talking to her. So I called CPS, and they pretty much within 24 hours they came out. But at this time I'm talking to her, and so I'm asking her what happened. She said, well, he asked me, and And then the second time he was asked, can he give us some money? And this time he is married himself. And so I'm like, okay. So I didn't tell him, I called her dad. I didn't tell what she told me. And so, but no, at this time I called the police because I want to go over this street
right
without the police.
Right.
So by this time, this is what I learned too. Policemen don't get in child support
They
stuff.
don't get involved in civil matters, no.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? He's talking
Right.
about go to court. I'm like, okay. So either I called her dad or she called her dad. I said, what do you want me to do with Kayla? And I believe his wife told her, well, you could take her with you that weekend. And by that time, that evening, child support called me back. They opened up the case or whatever. And then next day, CPS come to my house. Now this finna happen around COVID time, COVID-19. All this is coming. COVID is 2020. So she come to my house.
All this was just recent, girl.
Yeah. God, I went to jail in 2018. I'm telling you, I've been 2-3. Girl, I got stuff. Yes. So by this time, because they've been over there in Saxe for a whole year. Because my son graduated from Saxe.
Yeah.
And so he graduated. She was like in the 9th or 10th grade when she moved over there. And so so by this time, CPS come to my house. She's in my house. This new to me again. You know, I don't know how the CPS stuff works. And she was like, did she say anything to anyone else outside you? She said she had said something to her brother Michael that was staying there, but I guess he didn't take it seriously. And so DA get involved. They go out and invest. They were trying to find stuff in his background. I guess they couldn't find nothing. And later CPS was telling me, you got to go back to court again to reverse all that the judge granted him custodian, the primary. And I'm like, okay, but he can still in the process, as you go through this legal aid, he still could come and take his child. And
that's unfortunate.
I'm looking like, what? And so, all right, I'm telling them, it's a lot. I can process it one thing at a time. And so at this time, okay, now I don't trust my daughter.
Yeah, I get
it. I don't trust her because I'm still hearing about what you did to me.
Yeah.
If you set a plot for me, I don't know what you're doing. So CPS is all on it. They called the detective out there. I guess they pretty much again investigated everything. CPS telling me again, he get the child or whatever, and I'm assuming she's talking to him as well, seeing if he want Kayla come back home and stay with him. So they must have said no. His wife must have told him no, because by this time he don't withdraw Kayla from Saxon High School. So I was able to enroll Kayla at Butler High School in Richardson at this present time. By this time, COVID-19 don't hit. Stuff don't shut down. Woo, baby, call everything. So, they still taking child support out of my check, right? You know they right.
They still taking it out today?
No, with the COVID-19 hit.
Oh,
because
okay, yeah. I get what you're saying. I follow.
COVID-19 hit, everything, no judge, no office, no court,
Nothing.
nothing was open. They were trying to process all this. So I'm like, I don't enroll her in school, had to go get her clothes, buy her clothes.
And still pay him child support for a child that you got.
Yes. So by this time, but I'm gonna tell you how God worked though. paying child support because
Give him glory.
they even took my stimulus check. And so I called the child support people and I was letting, okay, she's at home with me. Well, we just gonna put a hold
Yeah, that's what they do.
on everything. But they were
Yeah.
still taking my money out of my check, but they put a
But that was
hold.
Richardson because they didn't tell Richardson what they were doing. Because if child support put a hold on it, Richardson was supposed to stop it. But
Well,
child support had to talk to Richardson too.
well, no, I had to go back in front of a judge.
Uh,
Yeah, you gotta go back in front of the judge just for everything to be reversed back unto me. So what they do, they was still taking the money out of my check and they held my stimulus check. And so
uh,
And so by this time, when stuff started dying down a little bit with COVID-19 and people was now zooming from home. Now, just so I finally got me a court date with child support. We zooming from home now. So he shows up from his house. I'm at home and judge where he is. And so pretty much it didn't take long. Everything reversed back. It reversed back. But I'm gonna tell you how good God is. I thought they gave that money to him. The lady told me no. We held the money, and when I tell you they sent me $3,000 back to my account,
there it is.
I said, "Look at God,
Yeah,
look," because the money they was taking out plus the stimulus. I was like, "Look at God,
there
God,
it is.
you arrived just on time. God, you
He
was
worked. He
you
worked. Yeah, yeah.
on time. God." He said, "Don't worry about it. I see what the enemy is doing.
Do you hear me?
See, even as I went through all this, he said, I had to take you through this to get you more, to get you where you are more in me and not in yourself. Sometimes God allows things to happen to draw you closer to him. Even though it was devastating to me, but God said, I had to get you to a place that you are now, that you are in me. You're seeking me. I'm your first main priority. So I, and I had to go through it, but I'm learning. God said, don't put no other God before me. And he will always supply my needs. And so even just going through that with my daughter, because it was starting, I had a little, I'm going to say hatred. It was a little hatred because I didn't trust her. Not only her, I didn't even trust my first daughter. Because what child would call the police on their parents? Even I didn't agree with my mama said, but I left the house. But I'm going to tell you what God took me to. He took me to Deuteronomy in chapter where it talks about mothers and daughters against each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fathers and sons against each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he breaks
That's
it
a
all the
real
way.
thing.
No,
His
it's not
word don't
Deuteronomy.
come back for it.
It's Luke chapter 12, verse 51. And I'm looking like, well, Lord, I said, okay. And that's when I really started getting my word and reading it for myself and not relying on man, not trusting man. It's good to hear people in the pulpit, but God wants you to have a relationship with him. And so sometimes God allows you to go through things, again, to draw you closer to him and to rely on him for everything. Because my kids, even as my husband now, it was everything. Even as I was going through the course, I have kept showing up. Didn't know that could have got some time for a year. But God said not so. So he covered me in his blood. He said, I had to allow you to go through these things because you wasn't going to change from your wicked ways. So I urge any woman, when God, especially when you have a calling on your life in ministry, to teach his word. It's just some people, I just feel like God, when you got a testimony or when you have a greater calling on your life and you start allow other things be your idol, your kids, your husband, and God said, no, I need you and me. Oh, he know how to get your attention. He allow the enemy to interrupt your pattern. Where you think you're going this way. No, God said, I need you to go this way. And trust me in the process.
That's
and
right.
so and so I just tell people I just can't turn my back on God. Because
Yeah.
when I was in my lowest, and it was just me and him, me and God. Cause I cried like a baby. I cried. I just couldn't believe that my kids, that was just I just couldn't believe it.
They people. They people
You
just
know,
like we are.
yes,
They're
and
people.
yes, and I just, and I guess I just didn't understand it at that moment. But now, when I tell you, God is the front center of everything, I'm learning how to let things go and give it to God.
Yeah.
I'm learning that I can't fight only he can fight my battles. I can't fight these battles no more. I got I got to let it go. I got
Yeah.
to go. And even through all that, my mama was praying. She said, don't worry about it, Gina. When I tell you it came back full circle, I just had to go through that process for a whole 2 years because it all came back. She came back home, and I told her, you don't have to never call your daddy. Baby, I will take you right back over there to him. See, my whole attitude have changed.
Mm. Mm.
You don't have to talk or none of that. I will take you back to your dad at any time. When I tell you she ain't never want to go back.
I bet she didn't after that experience. It'll teach you.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll
And
teach you for your own parent, your own dad to request something like that from you that's degrading, you
yeah,
know? So
yeah,
that taught her you conspired against your mom, but your dad was conspiring against you. That's the devil.
yeah,
You use the devil used you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what the devil sets out for our bad, God always turns around for our good. So you got all three of them back at that. You got all three of them back or just her?
I got her, and then Michael went to Job Corps.
Okay.
He graduated when he was over there. He went to Job Corps, but God had to show me too, as we as women, you know, her dad. This is what the enemy does, even with men today. For as women, we look at my kids, my girls was looking at, okay, he got the 4-bedroom house, they driving the luxury cars and all that. But when she got over there, within that year, she realized that her stepmama wasn't her mama. She didn't come to her. They didn't cater to you like your mama. See, sometimes God allow you to what you think is good. That's in a marriage or anything relationship, and all what it cracked up to be. Yeah, you got your own room that you was hollering that you didn't have in my house. But they weren't tending to your needs. They weren't tending to your needs. And sometimes God allow you to go through these things for you can see ain't all what you think it cracked up to be. You see, your
My
mama
thing is, how can another woman that's supposed to be married to a man and he has children, how can
mm-hmm.
you not cover these children, whether they're yours or not?
Mm-hmm.
How can you not cover and protect them as a woman? You know, these are girls.
Mm-hmm. I'm
And
listening.
see, she was in it for her own selfish gain. So that's
Mm.
why the devil was using her too.
Yeah.
But God was using them as these little puppet strings. He was using
Mm-hmm.
them to get his purpose done, which was you. He needed
Yes.
you to draw nigh to him. So
Yeah.
he used them to
Yes.
get his purpose done.
Yes.
Baby, that's in Romans, that's in Isaiah 10. That's
Yeah.
what we was on today.
Yes.
God don't play games.
Yeah, he don't.
And he ain't no punk.
Yeah. He's
He don't
not
play games.
at all. He doesn't. He don't play at all. So
Ah,
that's why I tell people, You just have to stay in God, because I love my father, because it's a sense of peace. It's a sense of
Yeah,
happiness. The world can't give it to you like God can. You know, a
that's
lot of
right.
times relationship women with other men, we think we can find fulfillment in men. You got to love yourself. You got to know your self-worth.
Yeah,
People can't give you what God can give you. And God
that's
had
right.
to show me that too as well. He had to show me that. And then God had to also heal my broken heart. Because I ain't gonna lie. When my daughter, both of them, I didn't want to talk to them for a while.
I get it. I understand.
So God
I
even with this,
understand.
he had to really heal my heart, because I'm telling you, baby, I was like, I'm done.
You sound like Monique when Monique say, girl, forget this kid.
I'm done, because I'm like, because at this point I don't trust you. Like, I just feel like
Right.
you set me up. Like, especially when I
Yeah.
was in the court, and that lawyer, his lawyer knew my business. Like, how you know what goes on in my house?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even talk to him like that. And
Yeah.
you living up under my roof, and you telling people what goes on in my house?
Right.
Baby, I'm telling, I had to learn how to process.
I get it. I get it. I understand.
I do.
So I'm gonna ask you, so through all of that, and you
Mhm,
already praised the Lord and shared how God brought you
mhm.
through, and you got your kids back or what have you, and your daughter just went off to college and she was a sweet girl. I
Yes.
met her, she's a really nice girl, so you praising her right. Um, through all of that, and you've given God his just due, you know what I'm saying? Tell everybody, how did that make you feel, like knowing that your own kids that you birthed conspired against you, you know,
Right.
to take you down, you know what I'm saying? But these are the humans that we have birthed, fed, raised, nurtured, cared for, gave, sacrificed,
All that.
everything too. How does that make you feel as a woman? Because we have women out here, and I'm gonna speak for myself too, because I've been there and I've done that. That we feel like we're more important than the next person because we're their moms.
Yes.
But for them to go against you, what they gave, that blowed you, didn't it? How did that make you feel? Right.
I mean, again, God, as I was going through the 2 years, God said I had to allow you to go through that to get you
Right.
where I am in Him.
Mm-hmm.
Some things that I did not want to let go.
Yeah.
You know, I was I was relying on man and not relying on God. And
Yeah.
I said earlier, I learned through the process, God will allow the enemy attack whatever you love the most. If it's them kids, that husband, that house, that car, God will take things from you so you can
Idols.
follow your keys to give him honor.
Idols. Stop worshiping them idols.
So that's what I learned. So you got to put him in front of everything. He said, seek me first, the kingdom of God above all else. That's
Yeah.
Matthew 33. You come to me and ask. He said, I know the plan for your life.
There it
He
is.
said, my thoughts is not your thoughts. My ways is not your ways.
Yeah,
We can
that's
come with
right.
all these genders. And if they ain't part of his plan, it's not going to prosper. That's what I learned from the whole
That's a,
situation. To
that's a
get in,
blessing.
yeah,
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna tell you that I hate that you went through that. I'm glad you went through it because you had to go through it in order for you to truly find out who God is, to
yes,
truly understand and know that He wants you for
yes,
self.
yes,
He God is a selfish God.
yes, he is. He said,
He's very selfish, and people are unknowingly walking around here thinking that God is this. No, God is very selfish. He
yes,
tells you do not worship any other item before me. Don't worship. He tells you that in His word.
He does.
And but I'm glad that you went through that, sister, and I thank you. I'm glad that you were willing to come out and share your testimony, because that's heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying? To
Yes.
know that or whatever. But in the end, you are serving a bigger purpose, and that's to get God's word spread out more abroad with
Yes.
our younger women, our younger
Yes.
girls that are having these kids out here or whatever. So you said you had a cause, a program that you're using. So tell us more about your program that you're doing for younger girls or
Uh,
whatever, because a lot of people may want to help you with that, or they may want to give to you, or you know what I'm saying?
well, I'm more like ministering to God, younger girls. Like when I be on the bus, God, my heart goes out to the girls. Um, I haven't started my organization, but he want me minister when I come around young girls, even again like on the bus, even the kids that at church. I can relate because I know I had a baby at 16. I know how it feel raising 5 kids by yourself. So I'm telling my testimony through that, and it's helping other young girls. You don't have to fall prey to men. Know your self-worth, know your value. I'm still going through that healing process, but it's all for God purpose, that he's working through me. He's
Yeah.
using me. I'm the platform for the young girls that I come across. I'm witnessing out here on the street, and just telling my story like I'm doing now. I was you. I was I was you. I had a baby. But
Right.
let me tell you how good my father is. How
Hmm.
good he is. So just telling people my testimony. Um yeah, just telling people really just my testimony. And right now, I just feel like I'm going through a healing process, as
Hmm.
well as God is birthing my ministry. I'm going
Hmm.
through training, um, more staying in His Word because He's teaching me. Because He said, when you draw to Him, He'll draw near to you. And so I'm just standing in my Word, because when He had me to step out in my full potential, my calling, then I'll be able to continue on to share my testimony. But His glory of God, His presence will be in me because I know His word, and I can speak those words that He have given me through the Holy Spirit.
Right. That's
And
right.
so right now, I just tell people I'm a baby in Christ, and I'm just learning. I'm learning a
Yeah.
lot. But that's really it. Just telling my testimony.
Yeah. He had to pour out that old wine. You can't pour new wine into an old cistern. He had to pour it out.
Yes, he did. He
That's
had
what
to.
he did. So
Yes, he had to.
that's good, sister. I appreciate you for sharing. I really, really do. And I hope that this helps another person, or another young mother, a woman, even a man, you know what I'm saying, that's probably going through this same thing, because we have a lot of men that are going through child support issues that don't deserve going through it. I
Right.
myself, I don't believe in child support. I don't believe in that system, never have, and I don't support it at all. I just don't. I don't believe you should have to force someone to take care of something that they know belongs to them. So even if they don't feel like they should, if they don't feel like they have to help you, don't force them,
Yeah.
because God has he has a way of making it happen. So he'll supply all of your needs if you
Yes, he
turn
will.
to him. So don't
Yes.
force people into doing something, especially if it's for your own selfish gain. You know,
Yeah.
you're doing something that you know is going to benefit you, but you know you have an agenda with that. That's sick-minded people, and I don't
Mm,
follow that. I don't believe it. I don't like none of
mm.
that. But like I said, I thank you for your testimony, you guys. Make sure you share so people can see your testimony. It's going to air Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
That's the time that I always upload. So make sure once it hits the YouTube or whatever, you share it out, share it to your people, tell them about our Testimony Tuesday so they can come and join and get their testimony told. Might be able to help somebody. Never know who we're gonna reach. You know, that's what we
Yeah.
do in Bible Life Ministries. We teach to reach. You know,
Okay.
we're trying to prepare people for a prepared place. So let's get guys word out, sharing people's testimony, helping our community, just building up God. First and foremost, we're building up God. This is God's kingdom, not ours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah. So with that, we're gonna end. And Miss Kelly, thank you. You have a enjoy the rest of your weekend and continue to keep God first.
I appreciate you. Have a
She
good day.
loves
Yes,
you.
ma'am. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.